during the TI qualifiers. That being said, the only factor that I could say is if they've taken a break, right? If this team has taken a break and they haven't been practicing for the past weeks, then maybe this is like their okay. Let's start getting back into shape. Let's prepare for TI now. Then I think we can see a more competitive series here. But if Elephant is in their peak performance, okay, they even get their Dragon Knight. Like this was something no team gave away during the qualifiers because of how well they play with it. This like Elephant, the best is playing very simple things with simple stuns and a lot of burst damage in the back, and they just run at you nonstop.
All this hype, all this build up, and Elephant start us off with a first pick Dragon Knight. I mean, what's even the point?
I love it. I you know, everybody hates on Dragon Knight, but it's so fun to play. Like, anyone who's played Dragon Knight knows how fun it is. Okay, even though he seems like a boring hero, he's just so annoying. He's like a Timber Saw, but with a disable.
Are you a sicko like me, Theben, where you just like want to play DK, Razor, and Viper every game?
No, but I did innovate the position for Dragon Knight, and I'm very proud of that.
Your claim to fame. I like the way Mo was looking for some, legitimacy there, to feel less like a scumbag, and people just like, no, I'm not. Even I'm not that.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't either.
Yeah, just kidding, guys. Puck Hoodwink is going to be the opening from Aster.Aries. Two pretty popular heroes right now, and then the Marauder coming out from Team Elephant.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this Puck pick because I know it's been very popular, but Dragon Knight versus Puck is always going to be difficult. They always have the option to put the Dragon Knight middle as well, which is quite nice for him. And yeah, like I said, Hoodwink, that might be like the top one most popular hero right now. Maybe Luna might trump Hoodwink as well. He's just so good, right? Just providing that break ability, so difficult to kill, provides good disables, very low cooldown. It's just like the perfect position for right now. And some players even play it in the fire role.
I find it interesting that where we see a lot of teams like first phase their carry though as well, they obviously value the Mirana more than like the Trump pick carry, right? Like the TBs or the Lunas and things. Because it would have been second phase banned if they didn't pick it there. So yeah, it's nice to see. Obviously I need to get like the European brain out my head from where I've been watching so much European Dota at the moment. I need to get into China mode again and see how they start setting their patterns.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams would have preferred to pick like the Luna or the TB there, right? But the Mirana is like great combo with the Dragon Knight. This is exactly what they did during TI qualifiers. I believe it was even their first game against Magma, and they're just running it back. So they still think exactly the same about the patch they did during the qualifiers. They're just going to go through with the motions here.
I wonder
Sorry, I was just going to say one more thing. I think TB and Luna, maybe people have figured more out like as to how to counter it, right? Like picks they're doing. I remember hearing a little bit about a Grimstroke offlane. So there's that. And then, there's like Shadow Demons that could be running around now that is quite nice. People are starting to pick other carries, just finding ways to be able to out carry these heroes like TB, Dusa, and Luna.
I was going to say, I wonder if the Mirana has something to do with the Puck as well, where obviously you can go yours first and set up for that arrow as well, which is nice. Kind of goes both ways, but there's the Luna.
There it is.
I don't know. I think this hero is so strong. Like, there's no reason not to pick it.
And they also banned Phantom Lancer, and TB was banned by Elephant, so this is looking like a pretty free Luna carry game at the moment.
Do you go Dusa on Elephant?
I'm not really sure. I think Dusa is a solid pick, but I feel like they're going to do something more quirky here on the side of Elephant. They're going to try something where they've theory crafted that could be really good against Luna, and I'm really excited to see what that could be.
Well, right now we have the Elder Titan coming out. Some nice synergies already. Obviously, you've got the Stomp into Arrow combination. Pretty straightforward there. What position do we think this Mirana and this Elder Titan are going to be, though?
That's a 5 ET and 4 Mirana. Okay. No doubt about it. I don't think there's any flexibility there. And it's going to be just Elephant waiting to last pick there too, of course.
I think you either go Deuce or Gyro here, Ray, on Elephant. I think Gyro looks okay as well. It's like the carry pool feels so small at the moment, and you have that nice like melee range combo as well.
I mean,
to work with.
if they want to get fancy here, I think a Slark could be pretty nasty in this game. I always thought that hero was quite nice against Luna, but obviously not a lot of teams are confident in picking that. It doesn't farm super fast as well. It's got problems if it loses the laning stage. So we'll see something here for sure that is not Dusa and Gyro, though. I don't know. I just getting the feeling that Elephant are just going to do something different just for the carry pick, at least.
Yeah, I could see that. Just go... I mean... If I was right, the panel wouldn't feel right anyway. You know, we've got to keep it going that I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
which I'm quite happy with.
Sure. I think they're gonna pick.
Long time thinking.
It's why don't they go Lycan carry? That seems good. I mean, ignore Puck and Hoodwink, and it seems good. Right.
Okay, let's just
Steven
stop
just shaking his head.
going dumpster diving. All right, let's not go any further. Okay, leave the trash for the trash set. But if we look at Aster's line, okay, all right,
Medusa it is.
they took Dusa.
That's scary.
They went for the most boring route they can in this patch. Just go for the classic third carry. You know, TV's gone, Luna's gone. What's next on the list? Dusa it is. And that's what we see. And this is why everybody hates this patch and they just want to see something new already.
I know. It's so good, though, with the ET as well, right? It makes sense. I mean, I would have liked to see Gyro as well, just because I think the magic damage works with the ET aura from the spirit and things, right? But, yeah, Medusa's still really good. I mean, that lane looks really strong as well. Obviously, Aster.Aries are probably yet to pick their off-laner. But,
so, I guess one thing we didn't really discuss about is the Abaddon pick, right? Why did they take it? There's a Dragonite and a Mirana on the other team. I played this lane a lot, and the most difficult hero to play against is actually the Abaddon. Like, Dragonite can't just simply stun and harass because the shield's going to come out, they're going to trade with you. Mirana is going to get chased down level 1. If he goes Orb Venom on this Abaddon, you just destroy the Mirana. She can't turn around and attack you. So she's going to have to go boots first. No matter as well, and that's gonna mean she's gonna have less damage. So this Luna is gonna free farm, and Dragonite's biggest weakness in lane, apart from the Abaddon here, is actually range carries. He can't really do too much against them. He's so reliant on just running in, stunning, denying creeps, and then harassing the hero in the lane. So not gonna be able to do that in this game. And I feel maybe Elephant might want to change their offlaner to something different than the Dragonite.
Interesting. So it's strong enough to force a swap, perhaps. Do you bother taking Breathe Fire off with the shield, or is that not necessary?
No, you don't want to skill that. It costs way too much mana. You don't have a big mana pool in general. Plus, you want that second level of Dragon's Blood in the lane.
Right.
The stun is the only way your Mirana can even play Dota. So
you need to enable the other heroes.
There it is.
There it is. So the DK moving to potentially the mid lane, and the Tidehunter will be taking it in the off lane. Does this do better against the Luna Abaddon lane, in your opinion? No,
not at all. Not at all.
But it can jungle, right?
10 seconds.
Yeah, I guess it can. The problem with the Tide off lane is
5 seconds.
it still loses to the Luna aura plus the Abaddon curse, and it's the same thing, right? You just shield off the gush. Or at least you get to do the instant damage right away. But having the Dragonite mid does mean that there's more potential for Elephant to be able to take towers with that high level Dragonite.
I think
true enough.
The overall game with the Tide is much better as well, right? Like, you want this big team fight spell that you can play around. Like, they don't really have that at the moment before the Tide pick. And I say this a lot when I cast and things, and people have probably heard it before, but I think when you have Mirana and you have this Moonlight Shadow to use effectively, you want this big team fight spell to pair up with it in conjunction, so that you can just utilize it effectively. Otherwise, you're kind of really reliant on this DK stun, and it feels a little bit awkward, like Thievin was saying, against the shield and things as well.
Yeah, actually, that's a very good point you make there. Just the Ravage against the Abaddon makes it so that he'd have to use borrowed time to be able to shield somebody else as well. You can just Ravage or he might not even be able to run in and shield someone because he's like just ravaged, and it might take them too long to get bursted. I do feel though Elephant is missing that burst damage in their lineup altogether. Like Dragon Knight stuns, Tide stuns, I feel like there's ample time for Abaddon to just run in there, Aphotic shield somebody. So I'm a bit worried about the Elephant's potential movements in this game being restricted.
Yeah, it feels like any team fight taken from Elephant is just going to take about 3 hours for them to actually win, because they have tons of lockdown, they have tons of team fight, but they're just so lacking in the damage. But they have got kind of a nice amount of spread damage, loads of AoE abilities. So eventually heroes will start to die with the Abaddon. But if it comes to like, oh my god, and then the axe comes out from Aster.Aries, like these guys have got damage for days. Like if they jump you, they're gonna really struggle to keep these heroes alive. So overall from the draft, I'm kind of sensing a little bit of favoring towards Aster.Aries, but is that enough to really make us believe in this team? I mean, can we vote against Elephant in this series? I mean, it's a game one, it's the first game of the day. Maybe just Elephant could be a little bit rusty, rocking up out of bed. Maybe Aster.Aries takes the win here. What do we think?
Yeah, I think if the names were switched here, Elephant had Aster.Aries draft, I would be like, yo, I'm all in on these guys, right? So if we're talking about purely drafts, I'm going with Aster.Aries here. I think they got such tanky heroes. They have a solid amount of burst damage. They have the carry that can just farm this map and not be pressured in the laning stage. Plus, Elephant can't even hunt this carry down. Like Dragon Knight Mirana is good, but against Abaddon, not as good. And there's no real follow-up damage on their side. Dusa's just going to have to farm. Tidehunter is very slow. I don't know. Elephant, they're going to have to play extra well for them to make their lineup work here.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this as well, like Medusa, she's going to be sitting in the triangle, but then like the Tidehunter also wants to go to the triangle as well. Like he's not going to have a good. They're going to be in the jungle, but I guess they are called Team Elephants, so it kind of makes sense because elephants live in the jungle. So that's what they're going to be doing this game. Mo, quick prediction from you. What are we thinking?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think Aster.Aries, I would prefer their draft, but I think Elephant are just the much better team, and that's the problem we're going to have with like these lower teams in this tournament, I think, in general.
Just the better teams. Alrighty, well, that is it for the draft, which means we've got the game coming up underway. The first series of the OGA at Dota Pit starting right now with Team Elephant versus Aster.Aries. Take it away, B-Cop and Mo Farah.
Cool, here we go. Great analysis, guys. Thanks for the throw, Nomad. I get to still have Mo Farah on the mic. Always feels nice. It feels nice to be back together with you. I don't know if I figured the feeling's not mutual.
Yeah.
I tried to think that maybe the feeling was mutual, but I'm okay with that. It's all right. I see how it is.
Look at this little showdown at the river for the cam that they're doing. This is awesome.
Yeah. Little high fives across the river. Always feels nice.
OGA messaged both the teams before the series, and they were like, guys, we want to do a really nice panoramic shot before the game starts. So if you could both kind of like hang around the river a bit. Oh, look at all these banners.
All these different guilds. You too could have friendship for the price of
The battle begins.
what, $2.99?
I don't know if you saw that, but they actually got the D ward as well mid on Elephant.
All comes up Millhouse.
Massive for that mid lane advantage. Obviously gives them a little bit of XP as well on the DK and the Mirana.
And there's the D ward for Yuna.
Cool. I think that was something we saw from last OGAs and things, right? Where the warding game, especially at the start, at like minute 0 and before the rune spawn and things, it adapts as time goes on.
Right.
And people learn a little bit more.
Just looking at these matchups, because I kind of got a feeling that obviously names are switched. You guys would have gone with Aster.Aries. And I mean, I kind of agree. Although you've got FY. Ooh, hold on. Yang getting chased here. Not sure he's going to die if an arrow comes in, and it will from FY. Make sure that Luna can exactly catch up. That is a long range from that Lucent Beam. Is that going to be enough with the Aphotic Shield? It should be. Oh, is it now? Didn't pop in time.
Never in doubt, B-Cup, my favorite phrase.
I feel we do this a lot. I doubt, and then I come back, and then I was never in doubt. 100%. Never in doubt. I knew he was going to survive the entire time. I think, really, though, not that you guys asked or anything. I'm not on the panel for real reasons because I have no idea what I would say, but it just feels like DK is just not a Somnus hero to me. Like, he's usually very playmaker, showboaty, aggressive, flashy, and DK doesn't kind of fit that bill at times. But also, Somnus has kind of played a little lackluster throughout the year. He probably played his best Dota in the TI qualifiers when it mattered. So maybe a step back from the flashiness, a step back from the playmaking is good for him, right?
Yeah, and it's like we were talking a little bit about on the panel. I was going to say they because, yeah, but I think it's important that you're able to try new things, especially before TI and stuff, right? You want to just see if you can change things up a little bit. And this bot lane is going horrendously for Elephant, as predicted by Thieven. Obviously, this Abaddon, he doesn't even have the Orb of Venom that we talked about, but it's still just the amount of damage he can output in this lane is crazy. And this Luna is just free farming. But so is the Deucer. So that's something.
I want to see if Elephant kind of try and change up their play style. Obviously, you guys talked about it, and the fact that we all know it is that just the patch isn't going to come during this tournament. It's going to come most likely right after. So do you kind of play around with play styles? Do you try something where all importance is on Eurus rather than Somnus? Do you try and switch it up a little bit? I'm kind of curious how Elephant play it, but at the same time, you've got a team like Aster.Aries that really do anything they want. There's not real, like, there's money on the line, but it's not trash. It's not looking for something different. They could just do and try and play as comfortable as they feel. They don't have to be trying out anything in terms of like play style and something like that.
Yeah, they can just play their game. This is their TA, right? You gotta go all in.
Sweep there onto the axe. Alright.
Creeps on the axe as
A
well.
lot of spins though. Super getting a little bit low. The Mystic Snake, and that'll be first blood for Eurus as Yuna trades and kills off Super.
I mean, that's massive for the Deucer. I mean, she's already free farming, right? And she gets first blood as well. So off to a great start. I mean, you'd be very brave to bet against Elephant this game anyway, I think, to begin with. I know you said Aster.Aries draft is nice, but giving this Deucer a good start, I do worry going into the later stages of the game how they're going to have the damage to deal with this Deucer. So, see what they can do.
Siamese Cat just bringing it to Yang right now. The right click's coming in, and I would think that, at least in my eyes, Yang certainly felt a little bit uncomfortable throughout the season, and he's somebody that you rely on a lot to be a playmaker as well. And that's one of the things that was a big topic of conversation with Elephant throughout the year. Are there too many playmakers? Are they having a little bit of the team secret first iteration problems? And you can kind of see that with Elephant. Feels like a lot of the players here were the flashiest of their respective teams prior to coming.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that, but sometimes it just takes a little bit while to make the fit work,
Right.
Sometimes, especially when you swap teams and things, people have to adjust, right? To be able to find the right balance between the next team. And sometimes it takes a little while for that to happen.
I wonder, too, because, we were watching Elephant before the DPC started, when they looked really hot, when they looked really good, and then they kind of got figured out, I would say.
Oh, this TP is
long.
I think the Apple wants to just come and make sure he can defend his mid-tier
arrow. That's going to land. Dream Coil comes down. Super's also here. They'll land the sweep in the Abaddon, and Siamese Cat not looking long for this world as Super gets the last hit in. Well,
they managed to... I mean, the Abaddon dies, right? But at least they keep their tier 1 alive mid, which is really important. If you look at the net worth, I mean, this Tide is really struggling in the bot lane. At least now, because the Abaddon TP mid, it's kind of relieved some of the pressure in this bot lane, so should be able to catch up a little bit. And the Axe is just creep cutting as well, top lane, so both the off laners will be okay now, I think.
SS is trying to get what he can. He's already got that Vanguard, gets the boots, and he'll be going into the finished wand and then the blink. No surprise. It's pretty typical in terms of what Axe is going to grab here. The game relatively close overall in terms of net worth, and Sleeplands coming through, and the arrow's gonna miss. FY was playing a lot of Mirana in the TI qualifiers too. It was like that and Hoodwink were like the two heroes he played consistently throughout the entire qualifier.
I mean, they have massive damage problems on the Dire side, though, right? Now that they act as Vanguard, like they have. I mean, we mentioned it in Pano a little bit that they have no burst, and especially in these early stages of the game at the Vanguard timing.
Ooh, Yang taking a lot of damage bottom. Getting run down, and looks like he'll drop. Yuna getting the last shot there, so he's got both kills right now for Aster.Aries.
I'd like to see this Axe try and invade a little bit here and see if there's any stacks and things. I don't know if he knows, but...
Another TP over through mid.
2-1.
Sammy's cat comes back. You've got the Dragon Tail. Arrow. Not going to connect.
That's unfortunate. Creep drawing aggro. I love this Faith Elephant, though. Just making so much, like... They're forcing everybody to come to and fight this mid-tier 1 where they know DK's their strongest hero right now. And it was an Arcane Rune DK ult as well, so he's going to have it up again relatively soon, even when it does end.
Yeah, so this tower looking very dead within the next minute. Pretty much, whether Aster.Aries like it or not. Snap the Dream Coil. Phoenix gets the kill on FY. And Somnus will take the tower. So he doesn't actually even need that second Elder Dragon form off the rune to get that tower. He'll get it while FY dies. A little bit of tactical feeding, if you want to call it that. Gets the attention off the tower, and then they take it.
Yeah, I think taking that mid-tier 1, though, is really important at this point. When you have these hard carries that like to farm ancient stacks and things like this, you see at the moment, yeah.
And they've just invaded and found all these stacks. That's going to be a lot of damage for Super. Sleep comes in. How much is Super going to be hitting for? All right. Not as much as I thought it was going to be.
So they stole a decent amount of that on Elephant. They didn't take it all, but yeah, there's these ancient stacks as well, so...
Looks like he's going to just go right into the blink, and that's so much gold. Just being injected right into the Axe's veins.
I mean, he's going to have a... What, like a 9.5 minute Vanguard blink?
With boots?
9 minutes? Cool. And this is the thing, though, right? When you don't have support heroes that can deal with this, and he just cuts creeps in the lane, and then he farms the lane creeps and the jungle camps at the same time. And his farm speed is just through the roof.
It
and,
really is crazy.
Fair play to the Medusa as well, because this Axe has had so much stacking in net worth and things, but the Medusa's still keeping up in net worth.
Yeah, moving around the jungle, continuing to farm throughout the jungle, going back to lane, being pretty efficient overall as Medusa, while Eurus has gone first item into the Yasha, going Dragonlance next. So we'll see what the build ends up being for the Medusa overall, and when Eurus is going to start to really look to get involved. And Phoenix is looking to drop the Dream Coil over bottom, and will do so on a Yang. Immediately snap. They've got Somnus for some help. There's the Blink debut. That's the Blink into the call with a 2-man silence from the Waning Rift coming out from Phoenix. They have the Hoodwink ult that hits on the Yang, but he still has the Ravage. They just don't have the damage. Arrow coming in, hits the Phoenix behind the Axe. But they've gotten that aphotic shield, so it doesn't last too long. They get the call out onto the Dragon Knight, and Siamese Cat's the first one to die, and it looks like Somnus, well, he's going to join him in the grave, so it's a 1-for-1, a long, drawn-out fight from both sides. And that's something you were talking about in the draft as well, was the aphotic shield and how much it was going to play a role in this game, and it already does with the arrow coming in onto Phoenix, and immediately gets it with that aphotic shield.
Yeah, I mean, the Tide lives, though. He has so much effective HP because he's gone for that hood first. If you look at Radiant side at this point in the game, they don't really deal a huge amount of physical damage. They are very reliant on that break from the Hoodwink coming through as well.
Ooh, taking a little replay at this one. Blink call. That was the Blink debut, and they wanted to get this Tide. They even throw the Sharpshooter in there. They've got the break onto the Tide. Battle Hunger, throwing it all, and that Ravage hits on 4. And you see this arrow, and then immediately, as though, the aphotic shield's there. You can't really see it with the emblem under him as well. It's kind of difficult to see, but gets it right off of him, and he's able to move again pretty much immediately.
I mean, they go for the Tide, they get the DK.
Going for the Tide again. Call comes in, Sharpshooter out, but they've got the Stone Gaze, Dream Coil onto 2 that pushes Aster.Aries away. And again, they try to go for the Tide, but they don't get the kill.
Yeah, Elephant really want to open up this bottom half of the map and take this bot tier 1, but Aster.Aries offering some stiff resistance right now. They're doing a good job. And they're going to try and make the mirrored rotation in the top lane as well. Try and take the top tier 1.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
God, I hate that Luna taunt. With all my heart.
What, the meow?
Yeah. It's so bad.
I like it. Blink Dagger picked up for Somnus. That'll get delivered his way.
Dire's middle tower is under
That's
attack.
huge as well, because now the Abaddon has to be
Radiant's
like...
bottom tower is under attack.
Where the Abaddon wants to be playing with the Luna, right? You want your 5 to be sitting behind the 1 a lot of time to protect them in case they get ganked. The Abaddon can't sit behind the puck as well. Right? And with this blink stun reveal on the DK, if they find a good kill on the puck,
Dire's top tower
could be
is under attack.
very, very bad for Radiant's side.
They've got 3 over mid. Blink call coming in, and that's going to be the DK blinking past the axe. Ooh. Bushwhack doesn't land to anything.
Yeah, nice dodge by the puck though, because the DK blinked forward to get a stun on the puck and really quick reactions from Phoenix. Stop it coming.
The 2K lead for Elephant is they've got 1 less kill, but they've been using the map a little bit more efficiently.
Radiant are scanning.
Doing a pretty good job overall. Just farming up is Eurus, who's got that Dragon Lance and sitting top of the net worth by a significant margin. But I felt like we were just talking about the fact that Axe was pretty much even with the Medusa, but Eurus has really made a map for himself.
And the difference is though that the Axe is trying to make space for the Luna to be able to catch up, right?
Yeah.
So he's not farming as efficiently as the Medusa would be. I love this S&Y pickup. Obviously, really good against the coil, really good against the call.
Going into the Scotty next. Am I saying that right, Mo? It's been like a year since I've said it in front of you. Scotty.
I think you get the S&Y, you get the Skadi, then you look towards that damage item. Either the Butterfly or the Daedalus, most likely. And at that point, you're kind of... you're looking towards Roche and you're like, yeah, well... I honestly think this game, if Elephant ever get the Roche and they get it on their Deucer, they can kind of just do whatever they want in the game for the next 5 minutes.
Right.
So...
Feels like a lot of control is in the hands of Elephant right now, and Aster.Aries kind of have to react to what Elephant are doing.
I mean, I think that all the pressure is on Aster.Aries, though, to have to try and make moves.
Right.
Because like, as the game goes later and later, I don't see them dealing with this Deucer very well. So for Elephant, it's kind of like, where's the urgency? They don't need it, right?
They can kind of sit back, play their game, and if Aster.Aries come their way, they just have to move over, try and get something done. Borrowed time. They've got that stun followed up by the arrow. It gives them some health back, but it's not going to matter, as Siamese Cat will get run down. The question is who, and the answer is Somnus. So Siamese Cat getting taken out. He is dead for the 3rd time, so he takes up 75% of the deaths that Aster.Aries have had. It's a pretty low kill game considering the aggression we had throughout the first 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, the game kind of just settles down a bit, doesn't it? Where the 2 carries don't want to be involved right now. Oh, good call.
All right, let's see what they can get out of this. Sharpshooter
So
coming in,
tanky.
and then just the TP out.
Like, even with the break from the Hoodwink, you need a +1 there, unfortunately, to be able to kill.
It
And
doesn't...
but the,
Go for it. Yeah, you got it.
I was just going to say, who do the Radiant kill, like, of the 3 cores, right? There's,
Yeah.
like, these 2 strength cores in DK and Tide. And then there's a Deucer with, like, S&Y, Mana Shield. You need, like, it feels like they need to be able to Eclipse and Sharpshooter somebody to be able to kill them.
Siamese Cat getting spotted again. Dragon Tail comes in, and that's why a call is out towards top, and that's onto the Medusa. And they're going to try and get Eurus here with the Eclipse. It's just not enough damage, and the turnaround with the Stone Gaze. It's just him while they go for this Abaddon. They've got the Dream Core down onto 2, as well as the Waning Rift. That's going to get the Silence down to FY, as well as Somnus. They'll get the gun to FY. Bushwhack from the high ground with the Sharpshooter. Ravage comes in. That hits onto the Abaddon. Somnus won't survive. They've got themselves 2. Lucent Beam on the Eurus, who's now out of mana. They start to chase the other way. They'll look for the sweep. It hits onto the axe. Eurus running. Yang trying to stay in the face of Phoenix, but he's got the Uzuru. Could jaunt over to it, and he will do exactly that. Blink call coming out from SS, and now they'll try and finish off Eurus. They should have the damage and will. They'll Culling Blade him down. They'll go for Yang. They'll look for a fourth. They'll try to take the tie, but he gets onto the high ground, and this should be away from Aster.Aries finally. But after a long, drawn-out and split fight, it favors Aster.Aries, despite the fact that they were down about 4 or 5k coming into that one.
And just like I was saying, Beakup, how do the Radiant kill anybody?
Long, drawn-out fights.
I'm really surprised that Elephant decided to try and take that fight when the Medusa has no mana to begin with, and she's already used Stone Gaze, right? Like you said, the fight became basically two separate ones when the Morana and DK were separate from the rest of the team. And if they're able to just play around Ravage and Stone Gaze and things, Elephant feel really good about their team fights, but well played by Aster.Aries to, you know, put themselves in a position to find these individual pickoffs and find people by themselves, which is, yeah, fantastic.
I felt like Somnus was a little bit out of position. They focused on that Abaddon the entire time while Eurus is just getting focused there. To be honest, it didn't really feel like Hoodwink was doing much in this game up to that point, and now 2-0-3. Yuna maybe adding a little bit there, getting that sharpshooter off, couple bushwhacks landing in nice.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
What? Neutrals dropping.
How far? What does the Medusa have at the moment? I mean, obviously, okay, so we're still quite a way off the Skadi.
Dire are scanning.
It got slowed down quite a bit, and Luna is not right there with the Medusa, but 700 gold off isn't that much. They've got the June Cool down on a 2. They'll snap it on Somnus. Super staying with it. The Battle Hunger's on him. The Bushwhack, that'll land onto this Elder Titan, man. Now they've got the Culling Blade. They'll get the kill into Super. They'll take him out. Sharpshooter actually almost hitting Eurus all the way in the jungle. That was interesting.
It's just a warding shot.
It wasn't even meant for him.
Oh, nice grove bow for the Medusa as well. Good stuff. So Ravage is back up again now. So the Dire, they really want to hold this mid-tier 1 for as long as they can. And like we said, it's really difficult for Aster.Aries to fight into this Ravage and the Stone Gaze. So they have to be really careful how they approach this mid-tier 1. It could go really badly.
Blink Dragon Tail, but they've got the Aphotic Shield. There's the Bushwhack coming under Yang. He's in a lot of trouble with the Blink Call coming through. They've got the Eclipse right down onto the Tidehunter, and the BKB's pop by this axe. They'll get the Ravage off, but the BKB pop by Ooh as well. He'll start to run. Bushwhack thrown forward. It's not going to land on anybody. Eurus moving in, and they've got the Blink Dragon Tail coming out of the Phoenix. He'll get out of there with a phase shift, but a lot of damage onto the axe. They get the kill there on SS. They'll throw the sharpshooter over onto Yang. That will break this Tidehunter with the Lucent Beam as well as the silence hitting on Somnus, who's trying to keep up with the rest of Aster.Aries, who'll get behind their tier 2 tower and escape. But only axe falls. The BKBs get used by Aster.Aries, and, well, for everything that Elephant threw, they really didn't get much out of it.
Yeah, they didn't, but they kept their tower alive. Right, and like we've said, Aster.Aries, the pressure's on them to be able to make moves and try and open up the map. So the fact they hold their mid-tier 1, they'll be pretty happy on Elephant. You know, it opens up the map, they can get vision down now if they want, run out, push their lanes. I want to say this DK armlet's pretty cool. Is this something that China did a lot before? Because over in Europe, okay, they get the mid-tier 1 anyway. It's been like Blink BKB a lot, right? Especially the offlane DKs. But it's nice to see a bit of a more like scaling DK build.
Right. I think it was more Blink BKB in the DPC season and a little bit of the armlet throughout the TI qualifier, so the shift has been there.
Okay. Because I think it's really important when you have this Tide as well that you can have a secondary core except the Medusa that can deal damage. And they know there's no Ravage, so they're going to go for this.
We talked about how Roche would be big in the hands of Elephant, and taking it out of their hands by getting it themselves would be massive here for Aster.Aries. So they're over in Roche. They've got 4 heroes, as Elephant are kind of just stationary mid. They're not going to be able to go over there and get this, as this is just a little bit too late from the Elder Titan with that Astral Spirit. They do have the Scotty, so...
Upon a loyal warrior.
Yeah, I don't think the game's going too bad for Elephant still. Like, just keep this Medusa farming, get to her damage item, because they do have damage output issues, so they are reliant on that Dusa getting the to the next point. And she is going for the Crystallis.
Right.
So it might be small crit into something else. It could be Daedalus overall. I wouldn't mind the Crystallis into Butterfly or something. Oh, she's very far up.
Blink call coming through. That's out onto Eurus. Yang, he's going to try and TP to the tier 2 tower. Do they have the damage to get the kill here onto the Medusa before everybody comes in as reinforcements? Blink coming in onto Yuna. He's got the Aphotic Shield to stay alive a little bit longer, but now they've got the Bushwhack coming through as well as the Silence. The Dream Core onto 2. Out of mana is this Medusa. They've got the Yules up into the air with the BKB being popped here by this Axe. Continuing to chase onto Eurus. Ooh, being taken to the fight, and he's not near this Medusa. They've got Phoenix with him with the call, but well, Yang walking that one off, and after all is said and done, nobody dead on either side.
They're both in this really awkward position where they don't deal enough damage to be able to kill heroes quick enough.
Arcane Rune picked up by Somnus. Gush thrown over onto the Axe, but just a little bit of poke and prod as they back off, and the teacher says, hey guys, break it up, and they do so. Just nobody died.
No, nobody dies. It's just the way it is.
Stonegate, Dream Coil, like Eclipse coming in. Yeah, no Ravage on that one, but
I mean, that's the thing about going SMY Skadi though, right? Like, you can see the status resistance really helping against the Call and the Bushwhack, and then the Skadi giving so much effective HP. Becomes really difficult to kill. Because that's the thing with this build at the moment. She's like this, long fight, sustained damage kind of hero. But then when she gets her damage item on Dusa, all of a sudden she becomes like an actual threat. I like this build on the Luna though, the Daedalus Shard.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is really strong. Obviously very popular at the moment.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
yeah, how's that shard flying out? Bottom lane, Dream Coil coming through on an FY. Yule's up into the air. They've got the tree down. Blink call, and that should be enough. Culling Blade out, and FY is gonna fight the
Dire's
dust.
structures are fortified.
Take the tier 1 over bottom.
Yeah, they've still got quite a little time of Aegis usage left to go as well, so taking these tier 1s really good for Aster.Aries, but you know, you feel like with that first Aegis they would like to do more, right?
Yeah.
But they're keeping up really well still.
Well, now they've got Eclipse again. Once they get Dream Coil, I could see them back up smoke. Go again. Yeah. I don't know about that one, Siamese cat.
He's just trying to get wards down. Sometimes, you know, you risk your life a little bit to go and try and get deep vision down.
Yeah, sometimes
you die.
Yeah, sometimes you're X Nova and you get the deep vision down, and then sometimes you're me and you know you're not getting any vision down.
Brave smoke while the Abaddon's dead.
Especially how reliant they are on the Aphotic Shield at times.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, they've
But
seen them put
FY
the ward down.
spotted again and killed very quickly. Dragon Tail coming through onto the Axe, but nothing more.
I mean, they saw them put the ward down, right? Because they have their own obs on that high ground, with the sentry just below.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm surprised FY just decided to run in. Maybe he's like just being like, yeah, I'll just tank this gank. It's fine. And they get the D ward again. So, and there's like no vision on the map now for the Radiant side, which is a bit scary. They don't really, yeah, they don't really see anything. I mean, there's that ward bot lane, but it doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, driving
Not
blind
with
is never advised.
Oh, it's like hard mode.
Eyes closed on the road.
Yeah. Sometimes you just let the car decide for you, you know?
Jesus, take the wheel.
Okay, so he's getting Lincolns on the puck. Obviously really good against the DK with the Blink Stun, because that's the main way that the puck is going to be in trouble this game. Obviously there's Ravage to worry about as well, but you have the Abaddon to help out in that area.
Don't have this Aegis for much longer. Maybe a little bit surprised that they didn't do anything with the Eclipse and everything up again, but they could smoke right after. I honestly wouldn't be shocked by that.
I mean, they tried to do things, right? Like, they got the pick off in bot lane. They got the bot tier 1 as well, but it's so difficult to push into the enemy side of the map without vision down. You know, you have no idea where they are. They could be lurking on a high ground somewhere. And this Deuce is still just flopping away at creeps.
Ooh. Will this be a fight with deaths? We'll see. Dato's picked up by the Luna. Right click's coming in. They've got the Moonlight
Yang's
Shadow, Arrow, and Yang wants it. But Yang's been spotted. They knew that he was there, and they're continuing to look for Yuna. They're throwing out some damage here and there, but it's still not enough just yet. Somnus goes in, Dragon Tail. They've got the Ravage to follow it up. They get the kill on a Phoenix, so they will take out this Puck. They'll go even further. There's the Eclipse as well as the Sharpshooter out onto the DK. Somnus, he's so tanky, and they've got the Stone Gaze. Ooh, as well as his hacks are now in trouble without the BKBs. Arrow coming in, not going to land the Gush as well as the Bushwhack, but Earth Splitter coming through from Super. They'll take out Ooh, and then without him for 70 seconds, he bought out on the Daedalus, so he's not going to have buyback in this spot. They'll drop the Dream Coil down onto FY as they start to invade the high ground. They will go over to Phoenix, who just bought back. He's dead again for 90 seconds. Siamese Cat will follow into the grave. He's got buyback, but how much is that worth? Everybody alive here for Elephant, and a big misplay there from Aster.Aries.
It's like you said that they're having to use everything to try and kill one person, and they don't even kill the DK. Right? Like, he's so tanky with all the armor. Not a huge amount of magic damage on the Radiant side either unless you pop Eclipse, but even then. And there's the big damage item on the Deuce of the Daedalus. So this is
high ground, and we'll see if they can take one more fight. They're without Puck for another minute. They've got Luna up with no Eclipse. Like, this is going to be very difficult. I wouldn't be surprised to see Elephant kind of aggress towards tier 4s.
I mean, they can if they want, but I think the safer play is, right, take the mid-racks, wait around for the second Roche almost a little bit. I mean, they can try and force it if they want. I think they're really strong, but there's no need to for them, right?
Right.
Like we said, there's no pressure on them to try and end the game anytime soon.
The side lanes are just closed for the moment, so we'll see what they want to do. They'll go towards bottom, take the tier 2. Like you said, they could go towards Roche, especially if the timing's right. It'll be up potentially in 20 seconds. And at that point, DK will have his Ags just about.
Oh, Titan 7 for the Dire side as well. It's crazy this game. Against, like, Axe Call and things as well, right? So, I mean, things looking great for Elephant right now.
Elephant up 13k. There's the
Alright.
Ags.
Normally it's the play-by-play caster who has to speak up, but what's the scenario in which Aster.Aries are able to win this game?
Do you want me to ask you the question? We could go again. I could reset.
Yeah, sure, okay.
All right. Well, I'll set the scene. So, Elephant just won the last fight. They took the mid set of racks, and now Aster.Aries are kind of on their last leg. Mo, what does Aster.Aries need to do to win this game?
Well, B-Cop. Thankfully, I'm glad you asked, actually, because I've got a really great answer for this.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to hold it because they're going to smoke over
we don't have
and go
time.
for the
We
Dragon
don't
Tail. The
have time.
Aphotic Shield is put onto the Axe. They'll chase Siamese Cat. That's ambitious, but almost getting away with it. There's the Yules. That'll stop the TP. And Siamese Cat will use one of his 9 lives.
Well, I was going to say, the second Roche fight is very big.
Yes.
In every Dota game ever, right? Because you get the Aegis, you get the cheese, you get the shard. So I was going to say, all they have to do is win the second Roche fight, and they're back in the game. Unfortunately, I think they might have just lost it. So now I don't know what my answer is anymore.
Well, maybe I should have asked you earlier.
Yeah, it's your fault, actually. Oh, there's a DD on Eurus. Yeah, they.
DD always shows up outside the Roche pit when Roche is up. 10 out of 10 times, it's always there.
Thank you, Daddy Gaben.
Do you think second Roche is too rewarding?
Yes.
It
There's so
should
many
be-
games where one team's doing really well, is really far behind. All of a sudden, they win one fight, they get the second Roche, and the game just flips because of how much network you get from that Roche.
Call come through as well as the Eclipse. They've got the Bushwhacker and the Sharpshooter. They'll take out Somnus very quickly, and he's gone for 80. All right.
They've thrown the whole kitchen sink at Somnus. I think they used Coil, Eclipse, Sharpshooter. That was brave.
So, my suggestion is, you know how it's either Refresher Shard or Ags Blessing? It should be Cheese or Shard, not both.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I think that's fine, right? I mean, honestly, the Aegis and Cheese was already really good before, right? Like, Cheese is such a crazy item. But the fact you get Shard as well now, which is so good on some heroes.
Ooh, smoke broken. Yuna now getting followed by Eurus.
Oh, no Squirrel.
Who would win, a squirrel or Medusa?
Oh, the arrow. I'm sorry, I got really excited for that arrow. A Squirrel.
I had that sampled on my Go XLR at one point. It was just me going, "Oh, the arrow!" Because I would say it every single time there was an arrow. To the point where I got called out for it.
I just have so much faith in FY that he's always going to hit them that I hype it up every single time.
The arrow!
The arrow? Oh, okay. Never mind. Oh, no, the courier.
Has been killed.
Ooh,
Oh, no.
boy.
I just had the ultimate orb on it as well for the
Lincolns.
So
No
now he's not
Lincolns
gonna
for a
have his-
while.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Which basically means this puck has like 13k net worth, but actually his net worth's about 9k until he gets the Lincolns again. Which is very worrying.
Radiant's
And there's the
top
Satanic
tower
on the
has
Deucer as
fallen.
well, level 25 online.
Just
which I
ripping
assume
through
she's
the
taken
towers.
the split shot modifier. Yeah, she has.
Waning Rift. They've got the stun out onto the squirrel, and Hoodwink very dead and immediately buying back.
How do they enter the fight here on Radiant though? Like they're chipping away with the Deucer Beam from the Shard, but Eurus has an Aegis.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
He doesn't
Even
quite
if he
care.
dies once, are they going to kill him twice?
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
I can tell you the answer, Beakup. I don't need you for that. It's fine.
Yeah, okay, all right. And now, the solo cast by Mofara.
Oh, not again.
Oh, blink called. BKB gets off.
Okay.
For the DK, so it's going to be pretty difficult. They've already used the Eclipse here. Splitter comes in with the Stone Gaze coming out from Eurus. They'll chase Ooh onto the high ground. Loosen Beam, right-clicks in. Ooh in trouble, forced to use that BKB. And he'll taunt and call GG before he's even dead, so...
Quick,
They
save me
will-
before I die.
Oh.
End the game.
No, he's dead. Can't call GG early enough to not die in that spot.
I respect the axe call though, because you have to remember if they don't go there, then basically the Deucer just walks spot with the Aegis and they just take the next set of ranks as well, right? So,
Right.
yeah, it's what it is.
So Elephant getting a pretty clean victory overall.